Hi, I'm Doug Young, and we're going to take a look in this video at a chapter called Hard Chords Made Easy, part of the Acoustic Guitar Solo Fingerstyle Basics book. This chapter is written by Mark Hansen, and the basic theme throughout this lesson is going to be how do we make things a little bit easier. We all have run into hard chords. Usually that means bar chords. You got a song you'd like to play and you discover that it's got an E flat in it or a B flat in it. And usually that means a bar chord. And that's not a showstopper. Hopefully you'll keep working on things and be able to play those bar chords, but sometimes we just don't want to. And especially on acoustic, the F chord is kind of a dreaded chord. It requires a bit of pressure to play. And there are ways to make a lot of these chords easier. And Mark's going to explore some of those in this article. I'll chime in with a few other ideas along the way. So let's get started. One of the first the first thing that you think about with certain chords that don't fit well in the key, like say E flat, is that you need a movable chord shape. And generally that's true, but because we are playing fingerstyle, we have the ability to selectively choose what strings we play, and that opens up a lot of possibilities. Take a look at example 1, which is simply a C chord, and Mark calls this the freight train chord because it's the beginning of the tune Freight Train. Now, so we're just playing a first position C chord, but we're putting a G up on top, the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And we have a nice C chord there. Now the thing that's interesting about this is that it's not a traditionally movable shape in that we're not barring across the entire fret, across the entire neck of the guitar, but we are using 4 different strings. We've only got 1 open string. So if we are very careful about that, we can actually move this shape up and down the neck and continue to play it and get a lot of different chords, which takes us up to example 2. We start with a C. I'm going to arpeggiate these so you can hear the notes. And I'm skipping the 3rd string. Now we're going to move up to a C sharp, up to a D, E flat, we're up to a G, A flat, A. And so we basically got quite a collection of chords that we can play, including some of the difficult ones like an E flat. You notice that I carefully avoided the 3rd string throughout that. You don't always have to avoid the 3rd string. In fact, sometimes you get some interesting effects by including the open string in these chord shapes. Let's take a look at example 3. Take that C shape, slide it up to the D, and this time we'll play the open 3rd string. That's a D sus, and it's a, Mark calls it a D add 4 in the example. And it's a nice sound, especially when finger picked. We could also move up to an F. So same thing, we've got our C shape. Take our C shape here, move it up to the 6th fret. We've got the 9th, so this is an F add 9. And in fact, if we lift up our little finger and let that open E string ring, we have an F major 9th. Kind of a nice chord. If we move up to the 8th fret, we have a G, and that open string's a G, so that's cool. And the 1st string E is the 6th, so we have a G6. And if we move up to the 10th fret, we have an A7. So these are all simple as playing what may be the first chord you ever learned, a C chord, and we've got all these different chord voicings, including some fairly interesting ones. Lots of nice color in some of the chords when we can use the open strings.